Hello, my name's Gavin, this is Genre Books, and as we say goodbye to February, we say hello to March and March Mystery Madness. This is a month of reading detective fiction, mystery fiction, crime fiction, and I like doing my Gutenberg deep dives, so I've decided to do something fairly specific today, which is looking at the golden age of detective fiction, UK writers as they appear in Project Gutenberg. These golden age of detective fiction books are usually whodunnits. There is convention and cliche here. Usually these books are set in the land of the landed gentry, the aristocracy. And for the readership, it is a heady mixture of murder and class. My only other rule here in selecting these books is no Agatha Christie. I love Agatha Christie that I've read so far, but I don't think I'm doing much of a public service by saying that the Agatha Christie was a famous detective writer. Everybody knows that. All of these writers, all of these books are available on Project Gutenberg to download or to read online, totally free. The first writer today is J Connington. His real name, Alfred Walter Stewart. He was only a part-time novelist. His full-time job was as a chemistry lecturer at a university in Glasgow. He is most famous for a science fiction eco-catastrophe, one of the first eco-catastrophe novels, Nordenholt's Million. But we're not talking about that today, we're talking about his detective books. His detective is Sir Clinton Driffield. The books here: Mystery at Linden Sands, Murder in the Maze, The Case with 9 Solutions, The Dangerfield Talisman, and Tragedy at Ravensthorpe. Our second author is Freeman Wills Crofts. He sounds like a firm of solicitors or a shoe company, but he was a detective story writer, and his detective was Inspector French. The novels here: The Starvell Hollow Tragedy, The Cask, The Pit Prop Syndicate, The Ponson Case, The Sea Mystery, Inspector French's Greatest Case, and The Chain Mystery. Another aristocratic detective, this time not a Sir but a Lord, Lord Peter Wimsey, the creation of Dorothy L Sayers, one of the queens of detective fiction. We have Whose Body, Unnatural Death, The Unpleasantness at the Bologna Club, Lord Peter Views the Body, and Clouds of Witness. Another one of those queens of detective fiction, Margery Allington, is next, and her detective is Campion. Now, I remember watching Campion on BBC TV, and I think I watched him because he was being played by Peter Davison, who had previously been Doctor Who, so that was my hook. But we only have the one novel here because only certain books are available on Gutenberg, but we have The Crime at Black Dudley. Dora Amy Turnbull is better known to readers as Patricia Wentworth, and we have a couple of her books available on Gutenberg, at least one of which has her detective, Miss Silver, who I believe is a teacher or a governess. She is the detective in the book The Fire Within, and Gutenberg also has The Astonishing Adventure of Jane Smith. The next author is sometimes known as Anthony Berkeley. His full name, and the name he also wrote under, Anthony Berkeley Cox. There are 3 of his books which are detective books on Gutenberg, and his detective is Roger Sheringham. We have the Leighton Court Mystery, the Mystery at Lover's Cave, and the Amateur Crime. There are far more books available for the next writer, as he did much of his work in the 1920s, and these are the works of R. Austin Freeman. His detective is Dr. John Thorndyke, and we have John Thorndyke's Cases, The Adventures of Dr. Thorndyke, The Mystery of 31 New Inn, The Darblay Mystery, The Red Thumb Mark, The Vanishing Man, As a Thief in the Night, and The Eye of Osiris. Ronald Knox was a Catholic priest, a theologian, and detective story writer. We have here The Three Taps and The Viaduct Murder. Ronald Cox also came up with the 10 Commandments of detective stories, which I might put out as a short video for March Mystery Madness. And just one book apiece for the last two writers. Ernest Robertson Punshon with The Bittermeads Mystery, and Henry Wade with The Duke of York's Steps. The Duke of York Steps, one of the Inspector Poole mysteries, and whilst Inspector Poole is not a member of the aristocracy, the author Henry Wade certainly was. His real name, Major Sir Henry Aubrey Fletcher. I think he was the Lord Lieutenant of Buckinghamshire, amongst many other things. So, short and sweet for a Gutenberg list this time, but I was trying to keep it fairly narrow in its terms of reference, just looking at these lovely whodunnits from the 20s and early 30s. The good thing about these authors is that most of them continue to write into the 30s and beyond. So keep watching Gutenberg and we may see further books arrive from these authors in the coming years. And by this point, the Americans have caught on to the golden age of detective fiction and were giving it their own spin. But I may have to come back in 10 years' time to do a Gutenberg video on them. Until next time, bye.